your psychic intellect and made you my puppet.
It's a bullseye! And here's your host, Jim Boyd!
Sorry if I scared you. You'll like this bit.
You will indeed. You'll like this. Good evening, Malcolm Morning. Sorry, you got me mid-sip. I was too greedy, right? I was too excited for my coffee. I was like, oh! And I drank it before I started. It's my first coffee of the day, baby. I switched to tea in the mornings. And the cold weather, I'm like that. Although, much like the culture war, winter might be over. It's like, man, I'm telling you. How long have I been saying things are turning around, things are changing? How long have I been saying that? Right? I look at Christmas. I said things looked like they were starting to gather steam, right? And I was surprised. I didn't expect it to happen. Right, but because after the midterms, I was like, "Oh man, we're screwed. I don't know what we're gonna do here." But you know, I saw things start to gather steam, right? And yeah, I look at the world holistically. I look at I try, like Ozymandias in Watchmen. You watch everything at once, right? And you get an idea of the trends of the world. It's really clear. You do. I mean, like basically, that's why I try and be informed, right, of from a lot of different media perspectives. But a lot of stuff started like to happen, and then when we just and it was in this time period like we call Shovavim, right? I've mentioned it before. It's this 6-week period where the what's it going to be the stuff that causes things to grow and mutate, right? That thing is the yeast, right? The yeast is injected into whatever, and it's rising, right? And so that's what the last 6 weeks was. It was like a restructuring to get all the pieces in the right place for the phase that we're just starting now. Really starting tomorrow night. It's called the Jewish month of Adar. It's Rosh Chodesh Adar. So let's go for 2 days. Adar is a freaky month, mate. Adar is where strange things do occur, right? They essentially the theme of Adar is we're in a matrix. We live in the matrix. We're living in a simulation, right? And it's a recognition of that and the absurdity of that, right? But see that, and that's how I view reality. I do think we are in a simulation. I don't really like that word, but it's a fair analogy, right? I think where we live is real. I think it's real, but I don't think it's real as we think it is. And it's I've hoped right for a long time that this is like the year that there's a world change, right? A messianic world change, right? I don't really, and by that means we're all nice to each other. It's like we stop being dicks and we're like, oh yeah, we could. And the reason people are dicks is because they're scared, because they don't think they're going to have enough. They got whatever, or they feel. Well, I mean, why are we controlled by completely amoral billionaires, right? Why are they our true lords and masters, and why are they so evil? Is because they're not happy, right? Essentially, Hunter Biden, he's one of the elites. Does he look happy to you? No, they don't. In fact, here, let me play you this. This really, I think, epitomizes this mindset, this lifestyle. There we are. It's go over here, doink. Yeah, man, this is. I thought this was sad.
Childless woman. I wake up at 6 a.m. I remember that I have no kids to take to school, so I take an edible, masturbate, and go back to sleep. I wake up at 12:30 p.m. and get ready for a busy day of doing whatever the I feel like. I put on my most impractical and stylish.
It's Like, what an incredibly sad life. Like, I mean, it's so sad that you're celebrating being a loser. All right. Okay.
Stylish shoes, since I won't be chasing a child around the grocery store.
And you'd be dying alone. Pointless, meaningless existence. Okay, well, carry on. Have fun.
Go to my fave spot in Paris to grab a croissant. I do a meditation sesh on the plane since I have no screaming kids, allowing me all the time in the world to become enlightened. The weightlessness of my existence has granted me superhuman powers. I teleport myself back home. Then I get ready for a night out with...
I mean, this is really genuinely, and I'm not exaggerating, what they think their lifestyle will lead them to, right? They'll be like, oh, we're just going to be insanely happy. No, you're not, mate. You're going to be Hunter Biden.
Whatever hot guy I met on Raya that morning. I call up a babysitter and tell her that I don't need her since I still don't have kids. Now it's time for a workout, so I hit Mount Everest for a quick climb. I invent a time machine, go back in time, and kill Hitler. Freeze, you bastard! It's amazing what you can do when you have this much free time. And that's a day in the life of a childless woman.
I mean, I understand it's a joke, right? But it's that they make the joke is so sad. There it is. It's just so sad, right? Again, Hunter Biden, I don't think he's a happy person, right? I think he was abused by his father, right? That's what it seems like to me. I think Joe Biden abused his daughter, like Ashley Biden. Like he had showers with her, and she says that's where a sex addiction comes from. This weird, inappropriate conduct. Like all this is, I don't think they're happy people, right? I don't think pedophiles are happy people. I think there's a lot of pedophiles controlling the world right now. I don't think they're happy people, right? I think on how do you have the best sex? And as an aside, why don't people have sex on the street in Israel? It's because the passers-by will tell you what you're doing wrong, right? So that everybody gets involved. But how do you have the best sex? Have one sexual partner your entire life, right? Have the person and lose your virginity on your wedding night. Your sex will actually be better. Right? This is crazy, but it's true. Your sex will actually be better, right? Forever, right? It's crazy, but but we tell ourselves that's not the case. No, that's not the case. But we know we're lying. It's like we know we're lying. It's like we don't want to feel like schmucks. Essentially, not wanting to feel like schmucks is such a powerful force in the world. That's why I've come to realize that's one of the most powerful motivating factors, that people don't want to feel like schmucks, right? And they will deny reality viscerally, right? Like viscerally, because they don't want to feel like schmucks, right? It's just insane. I mean, the people who are still yay Biden. I mean, come on. Hey, listen, like Jodie Whittaker and Doctor Who. If it worked out, I'll be like, fine, it's not for me. If people liked it, and I did, I'd be like, okay. But nobody fucking liked it. You kept shoving it down their throat, and we finally find it back at you. And it's over. Right? But I think it's much bigger than just a cultural war being over. And it's not over. They're routed. Right? They're out. They're not coming back. Right? I mean, even Marvel are waving the white flag now with their pieces of shit TV shows. Oh, yeah, we're just going to delay them for a bit. Man, they are. I mean, like, they're fucked. I mean, they got the Marvels coming out. There's no way they can, like, get out of that. Right? They are fucked. Right? And they know they're fucked. That's the thing. Right? So, I don't know what they're doing. And I look, the plan for Star Wars, I heard, is the most stupid thing I've heard in life. But, oh, God. In general, though, right? Like, I don't think things are going to suck anymore out of malice, which they have done, right? I think they're going to suck, apart from comics, because there's no change in comic books because it doesn't matter because nobody's reading them anymore, right? It would be great if you got, like, some, like, corporate person, right? Somebody in the corporate system said, let me take this division, and make it huge, right? Can you imagine how big Mad Magazine made fun of everyone? And it was like it had a ball pen in it, like an anarchic ball pen that made fun of it. And they say you can make fun of everyone. You can make fun of DeSantis, you can make fun of Trump, you can make fun of Biden, you can make fun of AOC, you can make fun of fucking everyone because they're all worth being made fun of, right? Make fun of all of them, right? It's a healthy thing. You know, like our leaders should be prepared to be ridiculed. That's very important, right? That's like, even if they do a good job, look, you got to be so fucking awesome not to be ridiculed, right? And it's be prepared to be ridiculed. It's not a bad thing. Could you imagine how huge Mad Magazine would be if it was like that, right? Everybody would want it. Left, right, everyone, normal, everyone. Take the piss out of everyone and have that be the ethos, right? Scrap everything in DC, right? Let's say I'm in Warner Brothers, and they think like, yeah, sweet. Scrap everything in there. Everything is cancelled. It's all shit. We're not resolving anything because none of it fucking matters, right? We're gonna do a core line, right? A core line of books. I don't know. We might even go back, but it'll be like, the classic Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. I would like to do like about 15 books, right? But I would rather do like 50 or 60 page hard, thicker things every quarter, right? Then have like floppies. Fuck floppies. It's done. No, I'm not. I wouldn't bother, right? But like a new format, like a prestige format. Like, you get from an Indiegogo campaign, like things that everybody likes. We'll go with that, right? And then, manga, like bigger things like that. But basically, I would scrap everything and then find the right talent. That's the thing. Don't go after screenwriters. They're all pieces of shit. Go for people who love comics. Go look at Comicsgate. That's where you recruit your talent from. Right, absolutely. That's where you recruit your talent from. What, you can't find artists? Believe me. Like if your boy Zach being editor-in-chief at DC is a smart move, right? It would be a smart move, like or Marvel. I mean, but that's the thing. It's bigger than just the culture war, right? Because everything's falling now, right? And it's going quick. That Marvel waved the white flag on TV shows is a big deal, right? It's over, right? I think, and people are saying, "Oh, Tzvi, you're saying because I'm saying, I think the world is in a critical change spot. I think we're in a inflection point, right? It's like we're in an axis. Been saying this for a while because we've been in it, and I've been watching it and going, "Holy shit, this is actually going down." Because just in the same way, culture predicted reality. This change is happening in reality as well, and I'm hoping it's going to be much quicker than before. Like a ball's going to get started, and it'll be like a ball, and I'll roll through it. It seems to be like, I don't know. Will it be peaceful? Will it be violent? I don't know. I have no idea. But like, we're reaching this thing called the new month of Adar. Now, Adar, as I said, is where you recognize you're in a simulation and you see the absurdity of it, right? If things get crazy, remember that. Okay? Now, something else I've noticed is that a big block people have to accept it, to being able to watch Picard, for example, which was, if you like Star Trek, if you like Next Generation, yeah, you would like Picard of season 3. Absolutely. 1 and 2, no, it's nothing to do with fucking Picard. Just forget everything. It doesn't matter. Right? It just forget it all. Right? Just start there. That's where you start. I think Brave New World is also Strange New Worlds is also safe to watch, right? It's pretty good. I like that. Bit too many I'm worried about the next season, right? Because Carol Kane is replacing like the best character, right? So I'm like, but I don't know. This has made them very encouraged. But then we got Star Trek Discovery coming, which is going to be a piece of shit. I mean, You know, there's nothing. I think it's going to stick around. It'll stick around for like one more season. Like it's over. You know, it's safe to get a white James Bond now, right? They're nearly there. By the summer, they'll be there. 100%, right? And I'm not being racist saying a white James Bond. The reason James Bond, I feel, can only be played by a white person is because the way I envision the character, as the way I understand the character, he comes from an ancient English family, right? Which are all exclusively white. I don't know what to tell you. It's just silly. You know, it's just like, I don't know, you know, you can't have him being played by an Asian guy either. That's silly. Silly. Can't be a lady. Can't be a lady with a penis. I mean, yeah. So a lady with a penis being a boy. I don't understand. I'm confused. I'm so confused with all of it. It's hard to process for an old man. It really is hard. But the point is this. I think Pebbles started to roll at Christmas, right? I think they're rolling down a hill and they're gathering moss, and things have happened like that, right? I think reality is about to be de-woke, which is weird because it's just got super woke, right? Without announcing it to anyone, the American government gave the most racist edict. Has become the most racist government, far more racist than Jim Crow, right? They've all got to have equity and inclusivity branches now. Every branch of government, every government office, right? Which means they hire based on race more than anything else, right? That's your primary factor in hiring. It's the most racist government ever. It's incredible. The Biden government has become the most racist government ever and the most environmentally unsound government ever. I mean, it's like God is keeping them around just long enough to see new ways they can fail, right? But, you know, part of like this messianic process is people realizing they're wrong. How that is going to happen, I don't bloody know. But look, I might be wrong. Or I might be right, and it's going to take 15 years, right? I don't know. It feels like it could be all over by September, right? That I really mean that. November. So much so that by November they may want to reshoot the special with they may want to reshoot the special with Yasmin Finney being so prominent in it. And it's like, I'm not saying they should do that. I am genuinely not saying they should do that. I'm saying that the currents of the world will change so completely by November, right? The de-wokeifying of the world happens by November, right? People will just not be up for it at all, right? And they'll smell the way the wind's blowing and they'll change it, right? Think I'm crazy? Watch Star Trek. It's happening, mate. It's happening. And again, this is not. I think the world's gonna change, right? Just like I think the culture's changing. Like we've won the culture war. I think I think reality is about to crumble too. May I recommend a couple of things, right? I'm going to recommend a couple of things. Firstly, we've all been very damaged. I mean, I took different degrees in this culture war. We really have, right? I was on Dan Hadley's stream about 5 minutes ago, about half hour ago, I should say. Time goes quite quickly for me. I was on his stream. We were talking about Picard. And Mega Geek was on it, like Ian was on it, and it's so clear that the heart is the captain of the ship because he didn't like, he liked it, he didn't dislike it, but he didn't like it, right? And he was very critical of it, and because he was looking at it in very like racial and sexual dynamic terms, like why is Picard sitting on the left and not in the center? Why 709? And it's like this. He's been so beaten up, and most of us have too, been so insanely beaten up by the bullshit that had been come out of the things that we love, right? The people controlling the things, the absolute bullshit. And the Jodie Whittaker years was absolute bullshit. Really? That was some bullshit. Oh, awful, right? They were genuinely awful, right? And then at the same time, you're being screamed at that you're a bigot, you're a phobe, because you're saying it's awful, right? It was a horrible time, but like stalked by the worst people in humanity, who all seem to be in LA right now. Gallifrey one, but literally stalked, just stalked by weird people, and like you hate Jodie because I'm like, no, leave me alone. Jeez, like. What the hell? I mean, like, want to have a conversation, fine. Just don't scream at me, relentlessly that you're a phobe. Like, for God's sake. Oh, so stupid. These people are so dumb. So anyway, good evening. No, but it's now I don't really have a lot. Lost my train. Where was I going with that? It's Culture War. Culture War was hard, right? It was hard, and then you've been screamed at all the time about all this like sexism, race, and you see them like screw around with the things you love to make like 2018 is a piece of shit. Man, it's unreadable. It's all these girl heroes that are boring. They're not even heroes. It's just boring. Oh, yeah. Let's have a look, see what's in the latest. I stopped my subscription. Let's have a look, see what's in the latest issue. Right? It's like, oh my God. Alex's greatest comic. And it probably is, because everything else is shit too. Here it comes. Like, but as I said, I do think the times they are changing, right? It's opening up. It's thinking about it over here. There we go. New battle action series coming in May. Okay. Fine. So look, it looks like a normal, like, cool comic, right? So you got Joe Pine. Oh, I got what's his name back writing it now? Pat Mills. Where is it? Hello. Who's doing that art there? The guy who did what's his name? Is it Simon Colby? Oh no, Toby Walshman. Okay, fine. So you got Judge Dredd. Look, fat old men for judges. I mean, like, there's not really. Yeah, okay. Girl Hero. What's that? What's this called again? The Out. God, it's awful. Joe Pineapples. Oh, look at that. It's got Girl Boss in it. Nice art there. Clint Langley. Pat Mills is back. I'm impressed, right? Another Girl Boss, right? I never got into the order. Right? Never got into the order. And Protos Vex. Yeah, another Girl Boss. It's like odd. Like it's genuinely dull. Not a fan. Absolutely not a fan. Fine. Let me pull up some eye candy. We should look at the. I've been looking at pictures from Gallifrey 1. I don't know if we should pull them up because it's. I feel it's like mocking the afflicted. No news coming out of Gallifrey 1, from what I understand, which means Jodie Whittaker apparently not doing Big Finish then, right? Like that would have been announced by now if that was going to happen. And maybe today, I guess, but why wouldn't you announce yesterday during the panel, right? When everybody was there, right? Would that make a lot of sense? I don't know. That would make sense, right? Yes, that would make sense. Here we have coming number 9, deep dive into the excellent era on TV and order. Yes, we will go through the entirety, all of time and space, and I went back to watch suffragettes getting beaten and force-fed. With a pipe up the nose, right? Helps keep me balanced. To which Marvin, the paranoid android, says, dude, lighten up. Really? Exactly. Chrissy, mate. Chrissy, lighten up. Well, it's a sad day when Antman is an A-list Avenger. fucking is a sad day when Ant-Man is an A-list Avenger, right? It really is. Like, what happened there? Man. I mean, they're saying they're bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, but I don't know. I look, here's what you need to do with the MCU. Yeah, okay. If you can scrap everything now, just scrap everything now. That's what that really. And again, you say that's crazy. Imagine if you scrapped. I mean, you can get Guardians of the Galaxy. Imagine if you scrapped Star Wars Last Jedi. Do you know how much better everything would be? Yeah, let's look up what's coming up from the MCU, right? Basically, just scrap. If you can do that, but I mean, if you want to get up to the Marvels, I guess. Idiots. I mean, like, I want to see you do it to see you fail, quite frankly. I kind of want the Marvels to come out. In 1 second, we'll go for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Doink. Wikipedia. Share screen. Doink. Okay, where are we up to? Just give me a list of the shit you got covered. Feature films. Okay, so Multiverse Saga. I guess we're up to there now. Yeah, I mean, my God. Phase 4. Fuck me. Look at this parade of duds, right? Black Widow, piece of shit. Shang-Chi, piece of shit. Eternals, piece of shit. Spider-Man, got nothing to do with got nothing to do with the rest of Phase 4. Doctor Strange, Marvel, piece of shit. Thor, Love and Thunder, super shit. Wakanda Forever, piece of shit, right? Antman and Wasp, we'll read the reviews, okay? Guardians of the Galaxy, you got Marvels. Yeah, just scrap everything else. Fuck off. You can keep Deadpool 3. Keep Deadpool 3. Fuck off with Thunderbolts. Who's in Thunderbolts? Yeah, no, fuck off with Thunderbolts. That's over. Right? Avengers, Kang Dynasty, Avengers, Secret Wars. No. Cancel. Right? No, just stop everything and say we fucked up. Okay, that's basically what you do. And then go Fantastic Four and X-Men, right? Do those two movies, right? That's your next, and just rebooting the universe. Slowly but surely, keeping Spider-Man going all the way through it, right? Somehow, right? It's just, you fucked up too much, right? Television, let's see what they got coming up. Although they cancelled a bunch of stuff. Miss Marvel. I mean, okay. This is their TV. WandaVision. Who knew that'll be their best thing? That totally was one of their best things. Falcon Winter Soldier, piece of shit. Loki, piece of shit. Even with Tom Hiddleston. Unbelievable. What If, piece of shit. Hawkeye, piece of shit. Moonlight wasn't bad. I didn't finish it. It couldn't be that good. Miss Marvel, piece of shit. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, super duper piece of narcissistic shit. Wolf by Night, didn't watch it. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, good. Again, anything that James Gunn, good. Secret Invasion, no, fuck off. Loki, Ironheart, TBD, and Echo, yeah, fuck off with all that. Then start again with Daredevil Born Again and do it properly. Fuck you. See? Not hard. I'm just trying to help. Really? I'm just trying to help. I'm a friendly person, me. I'm just nice, right? But I mean, Ant-Man, fuck off. I mean, really? I mean, that's really my Ant-Man? Really? You're not a thing. We've got coming up. Later tonight, we'll do Dalek War. If you missed that, when was it? Last week? Check this out. Yeah. Here, let me show you this effect. It's okay. This is going to get better as they go along because this is a bit of a learning curve, but I'm pulling it together. Yeah, where is it? We should watch that. Oh, we got a few things to watch. Doink is over here. We go over here. Over here. Let me think 1 second. Do I have it in another folder? I think I have it in another folder. I think it's in this folder. Let's have a look. Yeah. So yeah, this is interesting. I want you to play out
The Dying Days, written by Lance Parker.
Well, playing much faster on this for some reason. Okay, so without playing faster, it's really bad.
Read by an AI Paul McGann. No copyright infringement is intended.
So it's interesting. It takes about 3 minutes to kind of tune in. What is over here? I know, playing faster.
3 years, with only about a dozen exceptions, before she was married, she'd slept in a single bed.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's once you get in, it's like it takes a while to tune in. And look, for me, this is good enough to be able to listen to it. But I do like the little effect I put on here.
By herself. So why did she feel so lonely every morning now when she woke up? And there was no one lying alongside her. She toyed with the third finger of her left hand. For 33 years, she'd not worn a ring on that or any other finger.
Yeah, so I find this perfectly delightful to listen to. Go to my Substack, you get it for free, right? You get the audio for free, plus I'm giving you the text as well. But yeah, and also if you want to just listen to a 20-minute excerpt, it's on my YouTube channel now.
Why did she now miss the weight of one that she'd only worn for a few months? Musing on this kept her occupied for a couple of minutes.
You can control a little bit the performance, but not. I'm learning more what to do. But like the more advanced this gets, like why don't they AI those the animation from the reconstruction? Stop! Why? Stop it! Go away! There you go. Why don't they AI the animation from the reconstructions of the like? Matt, they did that. I mean, they can AI anything. It's basically analyzing all this stuff before and say, make it do that, please. Right? And it's all about feeding in the right the right command prompt. That's it. That's it. Right? That's really it. And they can make this so much easier with AI. Right? A lot of things can be done a lot easier with AI. It's really blown my mind. But yeah, I don't know why, especially that type of animation was reasonably crude, right? I think if they artificial intelligence generated the animation, right, and make it within the parameters that people wanted it. See, the trouble I have with the AI artists is too not close enough to what you can't control it enough, right? Like when I should be able to say to it, do me a what's his name? John Ridgway drawing of the 11th Doctor and a second and a modern Cyberman, right? And it should be able to do that, right? And then I could say to it, change the angle so I'm looking at them at a 3/4 angle, right? And it should be able to do. I should be able to. These are simple prompts. I should be able to give it, and that's again. This is all because the tech it just hasn't been written yet, right? We're so new at this stuff, like rendering photorealistic images way under 5 years out, right? Way under 5 years out. Like honestly, the lost stories will in our lifetimes. Our lost stories will be reconstructed. I'll be interested. They should also do the same process to reconstruct stories that they have, like I don't know, Web of Fear, and see how close the reconstruction is to the real episode. Right? I think that'd be wild. I think that'd be absolutely fantastic. Fine, let's get to the chat. Jordan Lee is here. Disney wants the MCU to appeal to women, but they don't know what female audiences want. Well, that is also that's actually several problems in one right there, right? Because they don't want female audiences to want what they want, which is girly stuff, right? They want them to want STEM resale stuff, right? That's what they're looking for, right? But women aren't really interested in that, right? And now they want want people to be trans, and that's what they want. It's weird, right? It's weird. But the problem is the bottom's falling out of the market. They're all fucked, right? Again, they're delaying the MCU. What's the name? The MCU TV shows. I mean, you could probably retool. I mean, Anthony Mack is a good start. You could probably retool that, but like shields and wings don't go together. That was Gary's Nerdronic's take, and I agree with him. He's absolutely right. But okay, but yeah, do you want to know what the real problem is? That the people started being hired in these multinational corporations for equity and inclusion. First, so they can get better ESG scores, so they get more women on their board of directors, for example, more women in higher places, which means the quality went down, which means people like Kathleen Kennedy were elevated to high positions, people who are completely incompetent, unable to run things. And I'm not talking about Jane Tranter, for example. I mean, like, say, people like Kathleen Kennedy make Jane Tranter they belittle them, right? Because Jane Tranter got everything everywhere she went because she's freaking insanely good at her job and very hardworking. You know, Julie Gardner, right? I'm not talking about people like that, right? People who are insanely competent, right? I'm talking about, again, the Kathleen Kennedys of the world. But in Marvel, right? So over at Disney, one of their big, ESG score. So they had all these women. Again, when you reduce your hiring pool, the only thing that can happen is the quality goes down, right? So, and they came up with idiot ideas, say, "Oh, look, boys will always love Star Wars, but let's have girls like it too, and let's do all new heroes that we own, and our people will, the kids from today will love in the future." Why we caring about 50-year-olds? You didn't know what you're fucking doing is your fucking problem. Right, you could have built a new generation. You could have done that. You had the blocks to do that. Oh, you had the building blocks to do that, but you fucked it up. All right, because you wanted it to appeal to girls, and nobody wanted it. Right, it just didn't work. Oh man. And again, I like that first movie, but like Ray was a bit of a know-nothing character in that first movie. I don't know what to tell you. It's but they did the same thing. Marvel, they did it with everything, and now they're sorry, but they turning that ship around is too slow. Although, as I said, I think the world's going to fundamentally change by September. So watch that space. Darren Evans here. How you doing, Darren? Thank you for joining us. Mark the Vicar is here. How you doing, Mark the Vicar? Thank you for joining. The Soda Engine is here. Gareth Morgan is here. There's a Paul Toastland. The Soda Engine says, "I'm fine. Mainly spent the day listening to my audiobook of Revelation of the Daleks Revelation." Who read that? Trying to get my mind off the dental appointment tomorrow. Eternal Street. Who read the Revelation of the Daleks? Let's look this up. I think this is something we should investigate. Revelation of the Daleks audio book. I would love to see that. There you go. It's looking it up. Written by Eric Saywood. Who reads that then? Is it Nicola Bryant? Oh, if it's Nicola Bryant, I'm going to get that voice. Let me tell you. Read by, Terry Malloy and Nick Briggs. Well, that's not as sexy. No, that's far less sexy. Here. Let me look up Nicola Bryant on Audible. Nicola Bryant. Let's see if we get. That's it. Let's see if she's done any books and tape. Let's look at this one. Okay, I don't know if you can hear this. Let me turn it up. Hang on. There we go. Wait. Is this her? Narrated by Nicola Bryant, it says. Oh, dear. Well, that's going to happen. She's done a few. Doctor Who Tells in Time and Space. She did narration. Let's see if we get lucky with this one. See if it's her. But this is Peter Perthers, Katie Manning, Colin Baker, Susan Jameson, Fraser Hines, Nicola Bryant, Dan Abnett. Blimey, it's taking forever. Come on, you can do it. It's a big Finnish one. There's too much background noise. Walking Hell. Okay, let's see this. This is a book on Audible. Walking Hell, the Station Series, Book 2, by Al Robertson, narrated by Nicola Bryant. The series Station, Book 2, like 13 hours and 25 minutes. Bloody hell! You got to read aloud for 13 hours and 25 minutes. I would go crazy. It's taking too long. But okay, I want to get Nicola Bryant to read erotic fiction now. Okay, let's just and me for you. Actually, do you know what I want? Here's what I want. I want to deep fake. I want to do the opposite of deep fake porn, right? I want to take porn star faces and put them on actresses' bodies in movies. So, you know, Indiana Jones will be like Ron Jeremy. That's a brilliant idea. Okay, that is a brilliant freaking idea. You're welcome. That is wonderful. Thank you very much. Well, fine, I'll do the chat. Meanwhile, well, that sounds good anyway. Darren M is here. Is all that we see and seem but a dream within a dream. Edgar Allan Poe was generations ahead of anybody. Oh, that's lovely. It really is. Who was it? Yeah, is it Edgar Allan Poe? Yeah. In Big Finish, they got something called textbook stuff, which is poetry, which I didn't listen to, and horror stories. And the people who narrate horror stories are very good, but they have Edgar Allan Poe. Is it Edgar Allan Poe? I think so. Is narrated by David Soul from Starsky and Hutch, of course. Of course, Starsky and Hutch about to be rebooted as a female. I mean, that's the most dumb thing I've ever heard, right? It really is. I don't know. Okay, here's a question. Okay. If by if by having a probe inserted into your rectum, you could erase the possibility of there being a female reboot of Starsky and Hutch, would you do that? And the answer is no, I don't care enough. No, that's not happening. Sorry, mate, we're getting Starsky and Hutch. I can't help you, mate. Dr. Alex is here. What would you do, Dr. Alex? Would you be probed for the better with the greater good? I don't know. We are literary freedom fighters. I mean, that really is true. It just like having these AI reads, it just adds it so much legitimacy. It's crazy, right? It is absolutely crazy. I really like Peter Capaldi reading season 12. I not to denigrate Dr. Alex's reading of it, but I really like Peter Capaldi reading it, right? Yeah, as I said in my intro to when I posted the 20-minute sample, I would if you have a fair price, license out your voice print for fan projects, right? Like, you can put to the end, not to be used for anything pornographic or for strong political statement or things like that, things like, and not for profit, right? See, why did iTunes take off and why did Napster die? Because it became cheaper. It became cheap enough to pay for your music again. You had the record companies being pigs and gouging you, saying $30, $40 for a CD, right? And then they gouged and gouged again, and they were total shits. And then iTunes came along and said, "Oh, we'll charge you $1 a song or $10 an album." We're like, "Yeah, okay, right." And that was it. And then everybody moved to streaming services after that. But that was it. That was the sea change, right? It was they just found the right price. You got to get the price that's cheap enough that people would rather not steal. Right, and that's what I would say. I mean, look, maybe join a group. I mean, what I would really like to see them do is like Big Finish use a AI of Sylvester McCoy. They have all his voice tapes, right? Boom, you can make an awesome AI with that material, right? Have Sylvester McCoy read the New Adventures, right? Do a book on tape, make it cheap, make it like $10, right? Sylvester McCoy gets paid. I get do the New Adventures, right? So McGoy gets paid. I get the new adventures on the as a book on tape, right? And you make money, right, for a low impact product, right? Yes, we're all up for you doing that, right? That would be a good idea. That would totally be a good idea. What are we up to? Fine. Gareth Morgan, there's a messianic revival. I understand people have already started to focus on the Messiah, more specifically Jesus in the last year. Well, yeah, it depends. It's I think Rabbi got jammed on rant mode. Well, that does happen. It's Sunday morning. We're all being churched at. Listen, mate, I do a bit of preaching. That's me for you. Yeah, so we're making Doctor Who awful and having people calling me every Islamophobe. So it was meant to. Well, that was meant to make me tolerant because it did the exact... No, it wasn't meant to make you tolerant. They were being cunts. Right? They were being cunts. Oh, so that was my... I never really got to my point, obviously. My point is this. We got to deal with this trauma, right? If we got to deal with the trauma of like... And to deal with that trauma, I think we need to accept that it was trauma, right? I don't blow it off. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing. It was sustained psychological abuse. It really was. We are victims of sustained psychological abuse, mostly from the FBI fucking eye by the looks of it, right? But yeah, there's been a sustained campaign of psychological torture done upon us, and we shouldn't overlook that. So if you're finding it hard going back to Doctor Who, or you're finding it hard going to Star Trek, that's probably why. So yeah, that's my point. I think you should. I think we need to acknowledge to ourselves, at least, you know, that this was tough. This was tough. Yeah, again, we have experienced a prolonged psychological torture, which is what I mean. That's the definition of what the culture war was. All right. It's no wonder someone like him will look at Picard in a very guarded way. Like, why are they doing that? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Why are they doing this? They're saying this. They're saying that. They're saying this. They're saying that. Maybe they are, but I don't think they are, right? I think the difference with Picard is you can see a love and reverence for the character and a love and reverence for these movie era Star Trek, right? You can see an absolute love and reverence for the Rick Berman Star Trek. Right, all the way from every facet of it. Yeah, it's just palpable, right? Yeah, in the season 2, episode 1, it was just like, fine, we'll do this then for one episode, fine, all right? Yeah, but so I don't think it's fair that things we love are we've been programmed like a Clockwork Orange to hate them again. To hate them now, right? I don't think that's fair, and I think I would like to see people not feel that way. And so I think to do that, acknowledge the pain, acknowledge the hurt. If you're having trouble going back, acknowledge it, right? And acknowledge they were cunts, and acknowledge just acknowledge it. Because again, don't blow it off. Because if you blow it off, you're always going to have it like weighted on you, right? It wasn't meant as a preacher. I do think it was going to change, but it wasn't meant as a preacher. But it was meant as like, I think this is how we should view things. Because we have a right to enjoy bloody science fiction. We have a right to enjoy Star Trek if they make Star Trek to be Star Trek, right? And those cunts that they make us like a Clockwork Orange, they reprogram us to hate fucking Star Trek. Fuck you, mate. I'm going to like Star Trek. Because we won the culture war. That's what you got to keep telling yourself. We won, and we did. Proof's in the pudding. And the pudding is pretty darn sweet. Gareth Morgan says, as far as I'm concerned, if new Doctor Who works out for others, then great. Same for Star Trek. But I will forever look at it from an outsider in. And none of it will ever be for me again. I hear it. Listen, mate. I do hear that. It has changed. I agree with you. I do feel this one, though, really does go back to the ethos of Star Trek. I felt that Strange New Worlds was not Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek. It was a riff on Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek, which I found interesting. And I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, this dead. It was fucking gorgeous. Oh, my God. I love the look of the ship. It was just, oh my god, it's so gorgeous, right? The effect they were, it just was, right? And most of the stories were pretty good. I like Captain Pike. I like most of it, and there was bangable women in it, right? You know, it's a good thing. Your Star Trek, mate. Matthew Burrows is here. Brian could read anything. She is the ultimate MILF. Yeah, man, I am. See, it's $22 for like 2 hours worth of stuff. I'll take the hit, Ryan, man. Matthew Burrows is a good man. You're a good man, Matthew Burrows. Somebody starts you fucking harsh. Let him have it. It's not worth it, mate. It's not worth it. Sylvester McCoy doing genital dialect speed. Do I have the right? I would rather him perform that. But there's a book on tape, which is just fucking reading, basically. I think do it as a AI, right? Or at least try it. Try it and see how it goes, right? Give it a go. Why not? It's going to cost you like, I don't know, do a chapter and see if people like it. Give it out for free. It's like, it'll generate interest. I think it's a great idea for you. Did I hear the idea of Nicola Bryant narrating Revelation of Daleks instead of Terry Malloy? I don't want to hear the female voice by Dan Frost. Kind of turns me on. Like when I was on Downstream earlier, I heard that Raquel Welch had passed away 3 days ago. So I was like, does that make her more or less spankable? I don't know. I mean, when I say spank, I don't mean spankable, but more spankable. Okay, that kind of spank. Can I save Knowsley Merseyside from immigrant abuse of a teen underage girl? Yes, but. Okay, look, a messianic awakening means we understand that hurting each other hurts ourselves, right? Because we are all one. Right? That's the essential, we are all of one organism, right? If God is infinite, we are all part of that infinity. We are all one, right? And that's the basic answer. So yeah, that's what a spiritual awakening looks like, right? But that we all kind of understand that hurting each other hurts ourselves. Which, yeah, I think is a good idea. Everyone, I think I'll skip probing. Thanks anyway. I mean, listen, it's only Starsky and Hutch, right? I think you can have it, right? I think if the choice of a probe or Starsky and Hutch, I mean, like, what would Huggy Bear look like, though? I think Blade will be cancelled, then there'll be a Phase 6 of Marvel, Guardians 3 and Secret War will be the only good thing. But do they have the resources to go that far? I don't think they do. That's the thing. I really don't think they do. Here, let's look at this trailer, which is kind of fun. This is on Apple Plus, and I think they got Severance coming back. So if you haven't seen Severance, it's totally worth it. Okay, Severance is awesome. But wait to have the second season. And sorry, this is just in. There's another balloon been sighted, and they got good footage of it. Here, let's check this out. Look this out. This is currently happening. I think it's over somewhere. It's off it goes. Off it goes. Yeah. I wonder. I think they're scrambling the F-16s for that right now. Yeah. Good to know. Good for you. This is the weird world we live in. What else we have? Oh, yes. This is... Oh, wait, you've got a couple of awesome things. Let's look at this trailer first. Yeah, we'll look at this.
The most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I played for 5 minutes. I still see falling blocks in my dreams.
So this is the trailer for Tetris the movie.
It's poetry, art, and math all working in magical synchronicity. It's the perfect game.
Tetris?
Tetris.
I don't get it.
It's a combination of tetra, Greek for 4, and tennis.
The
Russian inventor, he likes tennis.
This game...
I knew nothing about this, okay? This is like, I didn't realize how little I knew about Tetris.
It isn't just addictive. It stays with you. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I mean, I do like playing Tetris.
Hank, only 10 other people in the world have seen what you're about to see. It's called the Game Boy.
Package.
Wait a minute. Is that's what's his name? Oh, I like him. He plays Callan on Big Finish. I can't remember his name, but I do like him.
Game Boy.
Package it with Tetris.
Can you get us the rights?
The Soviet Union had worldwide rights. Nothing gets out easily. I'm gonna go to Moscow.
You're walking into a country
that still considers America enemy numero uno.
Yeah, still. Now, that was the 80s when things were dying down. Schmucks.
Okie dokie.
You sure you don't have to talk to your wife about this first?
Pioneers have to bet the house to win.
But not literally.
Listen. Have you ever heard our apartment this quiet before?
I mean, again, it seems like the McDonald's movie, right? I love that. It's one of my favorite movies.
This is the inventor of Tetris.
Your game is brilliant. I'm gonna make you a millionaire.
Mr. Hodges, have you ever negotiated with the Soviets?
We're here for Tetris.
Вы все здесь только ради денег.
What do you say? I don't speak Russian.
Hey, I'm up. When's this coming out?
The most powerful man in Communist Party is watching you and your family.
Do you know where your husband is?
What the hell is going on?
The world is changing, and Soviet Union will not be left behind.
You want to play with the big boys? This is how the world works.
Where is my money?
This is insane.
We can't protect you.
Sometimes you gotta forget the rules.
The only thing missing with this movie is Nick Offerman.
This is criminal.
The Soviet Union is about to implode. They're lying. Everybody's lying.
Go home. The cavalry is coming.
We don't have time.
I have a plan.
Yeah. So's America, mate.
Oh, come on. You guys are the kings of cliffhangers.
Not the bad.
Yeah, okay. That sounds fun. That does sound fun. Okay, I'm up for that. What else we got? There's a bunch of stuff to get to. Oh, I've got to start talking about Ninth Doctor. There's a good article on it. No, wrong one now. Right. Share video. Yeah, okay. Last thing. This is freaking awesome. Okay, Kate Blanchett, right? I didn't realize how insanely wonderful she is, and she is insanely wonderful. This is her talking to a class of students.
Abducted Bach?
Honestly, as a BIPOC, pangender person, I would say Bach's misogynistic life makes it kind of impossible for me to take his music seriously.
Come on. What do you mean by that?
Well, didn't he sire like 20 kids?
Yes, that's documented, along with a considerable amount of music. But
I mean, like, it's like she's like being confronted by this intense, bigoted ignorance, right? And I just can't believe what they're seeing.
Amount of music. But I'm sorry, I'm unclear as to what his prodigious skills in the marital bed have to do with B minor. All right, whatever. That's your choice. Can classical music written by a bunch of straight Austro-German church-going white guys exalt us individually as well as collectively? And who, may I ask, gets to decide that? Come on, Max, indulge me. Let's allow Bach a similar gaze.
I mean, this is one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen.
Now, the big question for you is, what do you think, Max?
You play really well, but nowadays, white male cis composers, just not my thing.
Don't be so eager to be offended. The narcissism of small differences leads to the most boring conformity. The problem.
My God, that should be a t-shirt. The narcissism. What was that? What's that shit again? Brilliant.
to be offended. The narcissism of small differences leads to the most boring conformity.
The narcissism of small differences leads to the most... It's weird. They just don't... They think, no, it's not me.
Technique or something else? Where are you going?
You're a fucking bitch.
And you are a robot. And unfortunately, the architect of your soul appears to be social media. You want to dance the mask, you must service the composer. You got to sublimate yourself, your ego, and yes, your identity.
I don't know who Lofty Pixels is, but well done. Right? I think that was really good. I was really... It sounds well. I think it sounds the opposite. I think it sounds anti-woke. All right, here, let's have a look at this for a second. Share screen. Oh, was it? Here. Speaking of AI, last AI thing was here. Check this out. AI colorization of the chase. This is by... Oh, can't remember.
Well, everything appears to be all right, yes? The oxygen's high, and the gravity is a little greater than Earth.
I really wasn't up for the colorized Doctor Who, but now, looking at it now, I'm getting more and more into it. Where is it? History? Where I'm trying to find the name of the channel that did this. Then what's it? Play that.
Oh, it's hot.
Well, it's no small wonder. Look up there, my dear. Look, two suns moving very quickly. I expect the days and nights are very short here.
Are we going to explore now, then? I shouldn't think there is anything to explore. Just miles and miles of sand.
Oh, that's it.
Those strange things.
Dan, just send you a link if you want to pop in. Yeah. So that's by the channel Kuntov. By AI, yeah. Another thing by AI. I mean, like, this seems to be something that's going to majorly change the world, right? Does seem to be something that majorly change the world. 5. What was that thing we were just going to look at? It was over here. Let's look at a bit of Gallifrey 1. No, we're not going to do much of this because it feels like punching down, right? It really does. Wait 1 second. Just going to communicate. Oh, not from there. So I got too many windows open, right? That's my problem. Too many windows open. Christian will talk about his time on Doctor Who and his fan panel yesterday. By the way, right? Again, no announcement of Jodie Whittaker, right? No announcement of Jodie Whittaker at Big Finish, I should say. So it sounds like that's not going to happen. I mean, why wouldn't they have announced it already, right? Joe Martin was cast to go further with diversity of the casting of the Doctor. Really? No shit, Sherlock. No. Please say it's not so. Who could have guessed that? How? People who think the Doctor should remain a man are wrong. I think calling them definitively wrong is wrong, right? I think it's a masculine character. I do, right? I think if you don't understand that, there's you don't understand masculinity or femininity, right? But yeah, I think he's a masculine character. I think he could have, like, you've made him had to be a man, Chris, right? I mean, if anybody who sealed him into that role now, that would be Chris Chibnall, obviously, right? What else could he be other than a man after the disaster, right? The absolute disaster that he was on Doctor Bloody Who, right? He was just a complete disaster. Right, let me just pull this up 1 second. What else was I looking for? Okay, I want to read this article. Every series 1 episode ranked best to worst. So I'm intrigued to know what their take on this would be and how, if I agree, because They just released this. I think, is this the final in the second run of Chris Eccleston Big Finish? I'm not sure. Right? If they've announced the Thursday, man, the difference between year 1 and year 2 is huge. Right? Absolutely huge. Which Night Doctor episodes are fantastic? Basically all of them. And which should be cast in a Time Vortex? Basically none of them, by Cy White. Breaking news at 2023, which means we're officially in the year of Doctor Who's 60th anniversary. Yes, that is true. 6 years of the Doctor traveling in space and time inside the TARDIS, entertaining literal generations of fans. That is true. Though, of course, it hasn't been on air for all those 6 decades, having trailed off in the darkest recesses of the British culture in '89. Well, again, New Adventures kept us going, mate. Right? It kept going. Then in 2005, we colloquially refer to as New Who. Well, there's a bit of a mid thing as well. The New Who with Rusty Davey at the helm, Christopher Eccleston in the starring role. Well, again, they were very, very reticent to connect it too strongly to the original at the time. And you really see that, right? It was very sparingly. And then the second year, much more so, right? The show once again solidified itself as a fixture of the television for decades to come. However, being that it was re-entering a previously occupied space and trying to reinvent itself for audience, both old and new, it was a tough task to conquer just what Doctor Who was supposed to be in the new millennium. Well, I think that was Christopher Eccleston's main problem with it. He really didn't know, right? He really he didn't get the role, he said, until Dr. Dancer's Timeless Children. And you see the change at that point in him. Like, oh, why can't you read that script first, Chris, mate? That would have done the trick. Well, one word, fantastic. From the awkward and forgettable to the science of brilliance that have come, here's episode 1, the first of 2005 revival, ranked from worst to best. So, Boomtown, I'm actually going to agree. Yeah, I think that probably was the weakest episode of the season. It's between Boomtown and The Long Game. I think The Long Game was weaker. Right? I think The Long Game was weaker. Sometimes there has to be a bottom of the list, and for its moments of brightness, Boomtown remains the dullest episode in Christopher Eccleston's run. I'm not sure. I don't know. The episode's greatest strength is an example of the season one's brilliant connective tissue. The returning villain. Well, it felt like a filler episode, didn't it? I mean, it felt like, we're filming it in Cardiff, right outside the back door. We have a returning villain that centers for the first time on a time rift scene in the Unquiet Dead. The first mention of the heart of the TARDIS, and consider it being Captain Jack to Cardiff. Boomtown really feels like a soft launch pad for Torchwood. Well, it kind of was, right? However, more than that, it feels like feels like a bottle episode. Yeah, right. Although Savine in a skin suit, Margaret says most of the time in human form, flapping her gums from moral quality. Well, yeah. Listen, it was a filler. It was clearly, it was clearly a filler episode. Worse yet, that the Doctor Lux, I think it's a spelling error. What the Doctor Lux into a situation for the issue of Margaret looks into the heart of the TARDIS and winds. Yeah, look, it's a bit of a Russell T Davies fluff, right? Okay, fine, I agree. Still think what's the called game was worse. What's the one I'm thinking of? Long Game was worse. Now you know that's just, they say that's just one man's opinion. Right, just one man's opinion, and it's probably better to balance that out and get another man. But it has been brought to my attention. I could be somewhat of a fearsome, personality. I could be somewhat forceful. She cried, officer. That could be said. So I need somebody to keep me in check. I need somebody who radiates light out from all around him, like a streak of bat piss in the dark. Yes. Who else could it be? Who else could it be? Coming on the channel, the royalty himself. Who is royalty? Birmingham's King of the Geese. King of the Geese. Birmingham's King of the Geese. And Geeks, maybe.
I'll be King of the Geese. King of the Geese any day.
There you go. With an intro like that, they keep coming back.
Good to see you too.
Good to you.
Long time no see. Thanks for coming on earlier on. So what we're getting that clip you just had on, what was that? Looks amazing.
What was it? Oh, the Tetris?
Chase? Not the chase. It was 10 minutes ago.
Oh, that was that was AI colorized Doctor Who.
Jesus. Sorry for
blasphemy.
blasphemy.
See it again?
I don't want to hold you up if you've got things to get to, because normally when I come on, you get your thumbnail up and you say, I didn't get to that. I didn't get to that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, again, AI, I mean, like, it's like they can...
Bloody hell.
The animated reconstructions. If once they open that up to AI, forget it. There's going to be so much better. Right? I mean, like,
yes.
Yes. I mean, like, okay, you got to look at the entire history of animation and then do me something like that. It's all pixels to them, right?
This wasn't possible 2 years ago for farties like us to do, was it?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Oh, wow.
Well, everything appears to be all right, yes? The oxygen's high, and the gravity is a little greater than Earth.
I wasn't into these colorized Doctor Who, but I'm like, that's not bad. I will watch that. And again, this is just somebody doing it at home. Could you imagine, like, remember the restoration team, if they stood around? Yeah. So the stuff they have, we are 5 years out, I would say maximum, from being able to recreate the lost episodes. Like,
have you ever seen Far From Being All Over's trailer for their full colour version of Day of Armageddon?
No, what is that?
It's incredible. About 2.5 years ago, I'm trying to think, because I interviewed them on the channel. It was the very first video I ever made for the Type 40 stuff. These two guys, they set themselves the task of being the first people to ever colorise an entire full classic episode. They did Day of Armageddon, and they were all set to premiere it. Forgive me. They premiered it at Gallifrey 1 3 years ago.
Right.
They were due to premiere it in Britain at the Capital event, but that was cancelled because of the coronavirus. And nobody's seen it since. The trailer is on YouTube somewhere. I can't remember the name of the channel, but
why not put it out? I don't understand.
Neither. Well, I know that they got, because when I interviewed them, they said that Russell Minton from BBC Studios had been in touch with them, so that's out there. So whether that's gone somewhere, and that's why nothing's been released, maybe something is being worked on.
Was it Eastland? Hold on. This is colorized by AI, right? It's not by human.
Amazing.
I forgot these.
Oh, it's hot.
Well, it's no small wonder. Look up there, my dear. Look, two suns moving very quickly. I expect the days and nights are very short here.
Are we going to explore now, then?
It does have a kind of like cool Lost in Space vibe to it.
Yeah, I suppose it does.
I shouldn't think there is anything to explore. Just miles and miles of sand. Those strange things.
Oh, some doggers up there.
There you go. So quite brilliant. Very impressive. Doink.
I've always loved the black and white stuff. When you see it colorized like that, you think, yes.
How far have you got through your season 2 box set yet? Or are you still plowing through it?
I haven't. What have I been watching lately? I'm watching. I'm actually watching The Keys of Marinus at the moment for something else. So I am in Hartnell land at present, but I haven't really watched much of the season 2.
So anyway, I was going over Christopher Eccleston episodes. It was Jess's birthday, I think, and they had a thing on.
Yeah.
So they're doing their ranking as episodes. So the long game. I will put this at the bottom. Where would you put the long game?
I would put that at the bottom as well.
Right. So they had Boomtown at number 10. I would put Long Game at number 10, and probably Boomtown number 9.
Boomtown. Yeah, I don't think Boomtown gets a bad press, but I think it's undervalued.
Just everything else is better than it, I think.
Yeah, I honestly think I don't think it's particularly bad. It's just that everything else is so much more memorable.
Right. You got Aliens of London World War 3.
Season.
I mean, that was wonderful. It was still very season 1 though, right? It hadn't quite felt it was still finding its feet.
You know what? I prefer that. I prefer that to The Empty Child. I know. That's much more my thing. Yeah, I love it.
It's a lot sillier. It's a lot more fun.
I'm a very silly person.
Look, the design. I like the farting aliens. I think that was good. I like that the focus on children in the first season in general. I thought that was excellent.
Me too. It was in my view, it was perfectly pitched. And
man, so they put this way down the list. They put this at number 8. So I disagree. I disagree.
Yeah, I do too.
I love that. Rose. I think Rose was weaker than Aliens of London and World War 3.
I agree.
And that because it was the first ever. Again, they didn't really know what they're doing, right? And it's so different from all the other ones. It was really done as a pilot, right? You can see that it's going to be like that. Might have been it, I think, right? You know, they had been good.
I don't know about you, but I struggle to watch that episode and just leave it there. I feel that they're a two-parter. Rose and the End of the World work far better.
It goes back right into the End of the World, right? Or is it?
Yeah.
It's End of the World, then what's the
Quiet
name?
Dead.
Quiet Dead. But the special effects, so some bits in End of the World kind of was a bit naff, like him walking through the giant fan thing. I'm like, yeah, okay. Didn't really bother me at the time, but it was just like, I liked all the aliens. I like okay. Here's what's great about End of the World. It really goes to shatter the preconception that it's cheap and it's going to look tacky, right? That's what it's for. I think the effect shots of the destroyed Earth and them holding hands at the end is just beautiful, right?
Well, if you remember, buddy, they were still working on that until 4 days before broadcast, was it?
Wow. That's the other thing. This production. You got such a feeling of them putting in every effort to make it great, and it was so bonkers as well. You had like Cassandra, and was it the last human? Is that?
Yeah, Cassandra. There was Jabe, the tree woman who gave me wood, and various Moxa Balhoun. All those characters, just wonderful stuff.
Now I remember seeing the leaked photos that somebody snapped from outside the set in the sun about 6 months, 8 months earlier. Do you remember seeing those?
I did see them. Yeah.
For the first time, the Moxa Balhoun came out, and what did you think of his costume when you first saw it?
I remember seeing that and the Slovenes out on location filming as well, and thinking, yes, it looks like Doctor Who's back. The show is back on. I didn't really judge it. No, I didn't.
When I saw the costume, I was like, "Oh, that does not look right to me. That looks a bit too basic, right? A bit too normal." And then I saw the first episode before it aired as a pirated one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, did you?
No, I remember it being in circulation, and I was offered it, but I refused it.
So no, I watched it with this weird eclectic group of Doctor Who fans who make the Doctor Who fans at Gallifrey One look attractive. You know, it's a bad group of people. So yeah, and it had the Tom Baker music on, and the people I was watching it really hated it. But you got a feeling of it. It wanted to be more a modern contemporary production than it wanted to be Doctor Who at first, and I had to lean into it.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
I think this episode, The Unquiet Dead, was the first time to me, it felt like Doctor Who.
I got that feeling with the end of the world, but I know what you mean. I watched The Unquiet Dead. I reviewed this about a year ago, and again, just like the other two episodes we talked about a moment ago. I've never thought this was bad, but every time I watch it, I see something else in it, either thematically or
it's a lot of
in
fun.
something actors are doing.
It's still one of Mark Gatiss' best scripts.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
It really is. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of in Doctor Who. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of bravado. I like the opening tease with the "Oh no, not again" when there was a zombie. That was good. And again, the special effects were like I was still kind of in awe of it having like being so content. Like I imagine this being able to play to Americans, and they go, "Oh, this is normal, right? This doesn't feel cringe."
Yeah.
So Eve Miles first appears in this one.
I always forget that until the episode's in full swing, and then she pops up. You go, Eve.
Yeah, right. And I like the girl. I like this episode. This was a strong episode. Fine. So let's see what do they say is better. Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways. Yeah, I think that was very strong.
Fair point. Yeah.
It was. I preferred Aliens in London World War III to Bad Wolf and Parting of Ways.
That's a big swing, mate. Ooh, that's a big swing. Even I would put this above Aliens.
It hadn't really leaned into Doctor Who yet, right? It hadn't got into its scope. It knew it wanted to be big, but it didn't know how to achieve it. And it's still, the Emperor of the Daleks looked good, but the Daleks, it still looked like sets, right? It wasn't till a few years later when it started to be like widescreen, and it was a learning curve, right? So it was okay. The standout for it was the holographic speech to Rose, right? That was like had lit heads on the back.
Those moments in that two-parter for me, I wouldn't say the saving grace, but to me they're what lifts it above the adventure, above the threat. The fact that all of that stuff is written so well and delivered without any kind of mawkishness, and it's still amazing that happened in year one. To think that these episodes are now 18 years old, it's terrifying.
Man, they haven't aged. They're sharp as ever. They really. Yeah. Although most of Doctor Who, I don't think has really aged. I mean, I saw Horror of Fang Rock recently. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah, you can play that today on TV.
No,
it's very good.
I largely agree. That's why when people go on about shaky sets and things like that, you think, oh well, now and again, very, very occasionally. But if you want to penalise it for having the odd production value issue, like you say, look at how the rest of it hasn't dated at all. You can put them in front of anybody, and the stories are still really compelling.
In fact, I would say the most dated stuff is the early 80s now, where they tried to be contemporary.
You could be right. Yeah.
I like the new when they do new special effects. I always prefer watching those ones. Right, Ark in Space is just so much better with the new effects. But this really doesn't need it. Fine. So then Father's Day. Look, Paul Cornell, douchebag extraordinaire. But he knows how to write.
Yeah, I think that's a strong episode as well.
Yeah, I think this is in the right place.
I regularly talk to a couple of people who think this is soap opera-ish nonsense. I've never seen. Yeah.
Wow.
One guy in particular really hates this episode. It's just pure soap. I just don't know even where. I've stopped having the conversation with him.
It's like genuine character, right? I mean, this was one of the most developmental episodes of both the Doctor and Rose.
I agree. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It felt like the world was ending. This was absolutely one of the best episodes of the season.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Fine. So we all agree. Although the action figure of the Reaper was useless.
I thought that as well. Yeah.
Empty Child Doctor Dances, I think it's up there. I think the number 2 slot is probably, I can't remember what they're going to have.
I understand why people place that so highly. It's just it's not. I think I do like it. I do rate it, but I enjoy most of the season more than that. It's just a personal taste thing. It's a complete subjective thing.
I think it's the first time it was really genuinely scary.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It gave you that Doctor Who chills. Right, and the cliffhanger was excellent. The monster was terrifying. The kid was absolutely terrifying. I liked when did what's his name from what's his
One Foot in the Grave.
Yeah, when did he turn into a zombie? Was that the first episode? That was in the first episode, right?
It's right at the end, towards the end of episode 1. Yeah.
Oh, you got Captain Jack. Captain Jack is fantastic in this. Got Rose hanging from the barrage balloon in the Union Jack shirt. That's so iconic, right? I
think this whole story is really properly iconic.
No, I like this one a lot. Yeah, look, for me, I think what they got to have the number 1 slot. Let's have a look. Dalek. Well, that's an interesting one to put at number 1. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
because it's quite atypical of the series.
It's probably one of Eccleston's best performances, and again, I wish he
without a doubt.
Yeah, and interesting in many ways. Best one? No, I don't think so. Right? I think I prefer. Okay, so I prefer Empty Child Doctor Dances. Right? I prefer Father's Day. I slightly prefer Bad Wolf and Parting of Ways. Okay, slightly. I prefer that to Unquiet Dead.
I suspect whoever put this list together, and it's a perfectly viable list, it's each to their own, isn't it? But I would say that somebody who put this list together was probably about 7, 8 years old when these episodes were airing. And these are the ones that the impact that they made then is still dictating how they rank them now.
Probably.
That's the impression I get, which is, say, perfectly reasonable.
Probably. Yeah,
but no, I wouldn't agree.
But this new branding looks so good. I have to, every time I see it, it looks so good.
Oh. It looks so good that it's actually shaming the banners that they've continued to use behind it. They need to update that now, I think.
You're right. Somehow. You are right. Yeah. Here, so I want to do the. Have you listened to any of the audios?
You know what? I haven't listened to any audio Doctor Who this year.
Oh, really?
Nothing.
Wow.
And I've bought. What did I buy? Oh, I bought Cass. The
that's good. I'm 1 episode in. That's actually very good.
I wanted to give because I do miss the 8th Doctor. I didn't listen to any of Stranded, and I really missed the character of the 8th Doctor. So.
Cass is the first time it was so far it's been safe to come back. Although I think I'm in the first episode, and his son is not the best. Okay, his son is not the best. Okay, so of the 9th Doctor on audio, Ravagers, it's way too expensive. Way too expensive. Like, that's crazy. Download $20. Okay, that's just it's just way too expensive, right? But this is the best of the bunch. It's Nick Briggs coming in and defining the range.
They're getting complacent with the 9th Doctor after just 2 years.
After 1 year. Wait, you'll see the degeneration, right? So this release was good. Respond to All Calls was mediocre filler stories. Lost Warriors, they were still worth listening. This one had one absolutely excellent Sidemen, like one of the best Sidemen stories I've ever heard, and 2 forgettable episodes. But that one Sidemen story was so freaking good. I mean, I wouldn't recommend. Like the vinyl is 43, isn't it? My God. and the download is 36. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
They've gone up in price, haven't they? I swear they have.
They've all gone. Everything's gone up. And then Old Friends, I would say, is also very good. It's a two-parter Brigadier, Warren Brown. One kind of throwaway story in it. They should have put the three Cybermen stories together on one collection.
I think that was the last one I heard. Yeah, I haven't heard the last few Eccleston ones.
All right, so but like they're all again, this one completely throwaway. Just mediocre stories, right? Old Lang Syne. They only have 3 stories on a disc now? Yeah, they only have, Old Lang Syne I think was the best one on this. But these are all, again, all missable, right? Everything was missable. This was this was where they actually made a decent attempt where they tried to do a good Christmas episode and it didn't really work. Pip Torrens was the bad guy. The female Sontarans wasn't as bad as it sounds. And Lars says, I mean, again, this was the best of the second year. Then they had the third one used it. It had Liv and Tanya in it, who Tanya is a woman with a penis who's dating Liv. So that was the last one, and now Shades of Fear. I don't think they have anything else. So is this they don't have anything else lined up with them though? Okay, it's good to know.
I haven't heard anything announced for a little while actually with Eccleston.
Right.
I think he's recorded more. Come to think of it, but they haven't.
Well, it could be this. It could well be. But so yeah, that was Christopher Eccleston on TV and on audio. So, but here it might well be this. Is he in this? I think he's in this, isn't he? 1 second. So it's got.
Yeah, he must be because he's the one who let it slip that he'd worked with Warner, wasn't he?
Right. So now they're also bringing in. They're going to have Stephen Noonan as the first Doctor, Michael Troughton as the second, and Tim Treloar as the third. So they got the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th War Doctors in it, and 10th. Oh wow, right up to them. I guess no. I guess they take it up to David Tennant.
They're clearly holding back some big announcements for this series, aren't they?
I mean, again, Gallifrey 1's been happening, and there's been no news coming out of that. It's so weird. Let's have a look, see if there's any. Let me do a.
What's the likelihood, you think, that they've managed to pull off the unthinkable and perhaps got Matt Smith or Capaldi for this? Do you think it's possible?
Oh, I think Capaldi's impossible. I think no chance whatsoever. Yeah, I'm looking up on Twit, so if I can see if there's any new news. Doesn't look like it.
That guy who plays the general, Ken Bones, he's ace.
Yeah. So right now, Joda's playing the Master. God, I'm so glad I'm not there. Yeah.
Oh, at Gallifrey 1.
Yeah. Look here, 1 second.
Well, I've seen people arguing on Twitter because she wasn't given a solo panel. She did one with Chris Chibnall. They're saying, if she was a male, she'd have got a full panel on her own. Who cares?
Let's leave the grievance alone, mate. Sunday morning celebration of 6th Doctor and Order. Is that Matthew Sweet?
Probably.
Is he raging about COVID misinformation still?
He was arguing with Lawrence Fox on Twitter the other day, making himself look an absolute twat.
I'm telling you, nothing makes me want to be COVID skeptical than people like Matthew Sweet. And I basically like his work.
Me too. I like his work, and I don't actually disagree with all of his views, but the way he conducts himself is, in my view, for a grown man and somebody working in the media, beyond the pale. Good God, what's going on there?
I don't know. I'm glad they're enjoying themselves. I don't want to diss them.
Are they wearing face masks?
Oh, yes. Have you not seen? Wait, this is crazy.
Honestly.
There's so many face masks. It's LA. LA's crazy, mate. Hang on. Share screen. There you go. Doink. Critical Galley One said he's said the standout highlight throughout his 3 series is Jodie Whittaker. Well, that's pretty bad.
What a boring, predictable, and non-answer that is. You fucking
I don't
prick.
know why they're wearing face masks, but they all are. Look, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh no, she isn't one. But,
Pity, I say pity she's not.
And then Jodie at a panel.
Honestly, I cannot stand this woman.
I look, they love her.
I can't stand the sight of her.
Honestly, I think it's like it's too embarrassing to back down from like adoring her at this point, right? Oh look, what Avon and Jenna wearing masks. Everyone's wearing masks.
Yeah.
It's so like
I mean,
okay.
Look at her.
But they love it. They literally like they. This is good for them. They like it. And then they go, Phasmin is canon. No, it's a scrod. These are these ribbons they add onto their thing. Yeah. It's like, what? Okay. Fine.
Is that Joe Lister, the writer, in the middle?
Could be. I've no idea.
Yeah. He's another mealy mouth prick.
Well, he's doing well for himself.
He's a good writer, but you listen to him about his opinions, the way he behaves.
Look. My overwhelming vibe this morning. Was it the theme of the stream when I started was just as the culture war is over, right? And when I say I've seen, I look at things from a holistic spiritual point of view, right? So I look at the world like globally, right? And I saw at around Christmas, pebbles starting to like shake. And I go back, listen to my channel. I mean, this has been going on since like, and things starting to like gather in steam. And then when we hit another Jewish time, which is called Tish B'Av, which is about 2 weeks ago, it hit like a critical mass, right? I think the culture, I think Picard being good is indicative of this like ball rolling over reality, coming out from genre into actual reality and just crushing all this wokeness that's been so long.
I know very little about Jacinda Ardern. You know, I have enough trouble digesting British politics without Australian. But her going, Nicola Sturgeon going, is a real punch the air moment. They suspect that Justin Trudeau could be next.
She is. Right, I didn't even know.
Poison in human form. She is poison in human form. Jeremy Clarkson. She was the first minister of Scotland, so Scotland's prime minister.
Right.
But she since she's been in office, which has been over 10 years, what she's done is drive Scotland to the brink of collapse. So they've got masses of social and economic issues, and she's diverted all resources into trying to get another referendum about Scottish independence from Britain.
Yeah, well, look, this is what it's really about here. I've had this for ages.
Most Scots hate her.
I don't doubt it. So check this out. This is a true story. Hang on 1 second.
Let me tell you a scary story. An economics professor at a local college made a statement that she had never failed a single student before, but had recently failed an entire class. The class had insisted that socialism worked, that no one would be poor and no one would be rich, a great equalizer. The professor then said, okay, we will have an experiment in this class. All grades will be averaged and everyone will receive the same grade. No one will fail, but no one will receive an A either. After the first test, the grades were averaged and everyone got a B. The students who studied hard were upset, and the students who studied little were happy. As the second test rolled round, the students who studied little studied even less, and the ones who studied hard decided they wanted a free ride too, so they studied little. The second average test result was a D. No one was happy. When the third test rolled round, the average was an F. As the test proceeded, the scores never improved. As bickering, name-calling and blame all resulted in hard feelings, and no one would study for the benefit of anyone else. To their great surprise...
Basically, yeah, that's socialism for you. It really is.
Is that a true story or a thought experiment or both?
No, I think it's a true story.
God, yeah, it's perfect illustration.
It is. I mean, here's the thing. Human beings need an imperative to do anything. We are lazy cunts, and we will take the path of least resistance every time. That's me. And the only way to stop that is saying, "Oh, you can have a much better life if you get off your arse and work." Right, and that's really it. And that seems like such a fair system to me. Right? It's although again, if we can, I'm not sure if I've ever spoken to you about this. If this rendering technology keeps going the way it is, firstly, I think the technology is there for a animation suite where you can like make your own Saturday morning cartoons. I don't understand. I don't understand why this is so hard making these reconstructions. We should be able to do it on our laptops at this point. All right, the technology is totally there, but like we're not far away from being able to generate photorealistic, indistinguishable images from reality. I mean, look at the deep fake porn. I had no idea about it until a week ago when they started talking about it on Tim Pool. It's just like,
I saw that as well.
What I want to do,
they're on about being illegal. They're going to try and equate that to revenge porning, aren't they? Sort of grafting somebody's head onto a deep fake.
I want to do the other way. I want to graft porn stars' heads on regular people on like movie stars. Again, Ron Jeremy is Indiana Jones. I think it's going to be much better. Wouldn't you prefer that? No, not really. No. By the way, I think Indiana Jones is totally going to be awesome. I really think it's going to be fantastic now.
Well, yeah, to be honest, I've always thought that film looked pretty awesome, but I stopped saying it because it got Ian quite angry.
Like, I do think there was a hard course correction. From the first trailer to the second one, there was a hard course correction.
I don't think we'll ever know. We don't know for a long time because there were pickups.
Either.
But with the way I look at it, James Mangold has never made a bad film.
Yeah,
so,
it's fair. But I think the cultural wins are where they are. If they keep going the way they're going, by summer it'll be completely safe to have a white male James Bond. Right, to announce a new James Bond being white and male.
That's clearly why they're sitting it out.
Yes,
that's why it's taking so long.
Yes, they are. Yeah, it's nearly safe to come out, and you
can practically detect Barbara Broccoli putting her head out and going, "Fuck that for a game of soldiers," and going to do something else. And if you remember, they made the rhythm section. They tried to start their female spy franchise with Blake Lively, and it was an absolute disaster. Nobody went to see it. Most people don't even know it exists.
I didn't. I never heard of it. Why didn't they introduce it in a James Bond movie?
Well, it's what they did is they got the rights to another series of books.
Right.
So it's a different fictional universe, and they set about adapting those. So they only did the first one, where Blake Lively plays this secret agent.
Here's what you do. You have a James Bond movie with a cool female spy and a cool black male spy, right? And then you spin both of them off. Then you can have a movie a year in the same universe with the same feeling, right? You can have
I agree.
You do very well. And you could have like a Moneypenny TV show. There's a lot they could do. There really is, especially with the last one. So this is something that I think has become, I think is a major focus for us YouTubers, people like you and me right now, is exemplified here by John F. Trent. He's still fighting the war, right? He's where Ian is, right? And this was what I was saying on your stream. I think if somebody has trouble watching something like Picard season 3, right? So and they like, well, why are they sitting there? Why are they doing this? And you're programmed to have this like knee-jerk like reaction straight away. I think the first thing to do is acknowledge that we as a group of people have been the victims target of an extended psychological torture.
Yes, and I don't. That's not exaggerating. It's certainly
It's
psychological
not.
abuse.
It really, absolutely is, and like mostly, it seems to be directed now from the intelligence services, right? It's so there's really no. I think acknowledging that is the first step in being able to say, I think having people understand that it's the same way it was wrong to use these things to slap us in the face relentlessly, which is what they were used for. They've now clockworked oranged us that we want to vomit when we see it. Some of us that we want to vomit when we see it. All right. By the way, Marvel's so fucked. The Marvels. I mean, like their upcoming releases.
That'll be the very last. That's the very last brand that'll be saved. It
Well,
may
no,
be
they've
at the
also
point where
started to change.
What's that? Sorry, what was that?
You're breaking up. But yeah, check this out. When this picture opens up, you will see. I mean, you don't really need to read the story. Marvel Studios of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 accused of pushing transgender ideology or making Karen Gillan Nebula look like a man. It seems like a reasonable. I mean, look, that was the first one when she was hot, and now she's like. I mean, nothing.
Now she looks like Mark Almond.
Right. Yeah. Nothing says more about how the culture has changed over such a small period of time than that. But the point is this: they're locked into all the movies, but the TV shows. Hang on 1 second. I'm not sure if you saw this story.
I saw him announce, Kevin Feige, that he was dropping back on not making so much stuff.
Right. Marvel reporting undertaking a heavy slowdown on Disney Plus. Echo Ironheart seemingly delayed indefinitely. I mean, look at this shit. Really?
Have they shot those two shows? Have they filmed them? Have they made
I
them?
don't know. Ironheart was from the Wakanda Forever, I think, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And like, look, I mean, they could probably retool Anthony Mackie Captain America.
They can say
like
that character.
I mean, look, he's a decent actor. He's charismatic, but I no, stop. I mean, I think this was the show that She-Hulk was the one that broke
them.
It.
Yeah,
yeah, I think so. That was really because they're just the relentless being slapped in the face. Daredevil. Oh God, I mean, you can also retool Daredevil.
No, they never even made Nova. That was announced years ago.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Star Wars this year looks like it's going to be solid, right? Marvel's in the shit. They are in the shit. Their outgoing movie slate is just crap. And Quantum Mania. I was going to read the review of this. Let's read. Have you any interest in seeing this?
You know what? I was going to go and see this, but the reviews have been. But it was very much a case of me saying, "Oh well, maybe I should," rather than me actually wanting to.
Right. I doubt I'll even watch this on Disney Plus when it comes out.
No, I probably won't.
It's another widget. Yeah, Antman and Wasp Quantumania review. It's a new year, same tired MCU formula. I bet it is.
Yeah.
Right. They got. I mean, like the phase 3 or phase 4 was a disaster. Right. It was one of the.
Is this film the beginning of phase 5? Does phase 5 start with this?
Yes. Yeah, it's not like phase 3 that started with on a big high. Right. This is just a nightmare. Fine. So, in the state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is in shambles when you place all your eggs in the future of on the character Ant-Man. But that is where we are. Yes, that like they're so fucked. Ant-Man is their A-lister now, right? It's like all they got left. What are you going to have? The Marvels. Last year, Kevin Feige decided to abruptly end the MCU's Phase 4 with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and jump-starting the Phase 5 with a multiverse saga. Believe it or not, Disney hasn't had an MCU film pass $1 billion since 2019, the Avengers Endgame, albeit Spider-Man No Way Home almost grossed $2 billion globally. However, that was a Sony. Yeah, that was nothing to do with them. When they can't rely on co-promotion with Sony, the MCU has not captivated the minds of audience since the end of the Thanos saga. That's true, almost 4 years. So it's ancient history. Yeah. It is over since
it's a lifetime in films.
Yeah, I would scrap everything and just start with the Fantastic Four movie. Fantastic Four and X-Men. That'll be your first.
Make a Fantastic Four movie. Make it a killer one. Have Spider-Man as the guest star in it, just like he was. Just like Fantastic Four guest starred in the first issue of Amazing Spider-Man. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. What Antman and Wasp: Quantumania seeks to do is create hype for the latest Avengers villain, Kang the Conqueror. Needless to say, the film needs to be a success in order to have any hope of the future, and it's not. No one's fucking interested. Nah. Hey. Goodbye. With Fake already cutting back on Disney Plus shows that have already been announced and produced. Interesting. Disney has pressed a reset button for Antman Quantumania. Well, fuck you, Disney. You made another widget. There's no way, right? There's no way this is winning anybody back. And I was look, you had what's his name? You had a great cast. Paul Rudd, very charismatic. But no, it's got to be about Stunning and Brave Daughter. The latest episode of the long-running soap opera in cinematic history begins with Scott Lang, who has become a successful author in the aftermath of Endgame. Despite his success, Scott is still having issues connecting with his daughter Cassie, who has become a social justice activist. Oh, fuck off! Brilliant. No! In San Francisco, and has gotten...
I'm so glad I didn't go and see this now.
Oh, God! It turns out that Hank Pym, Michael Douglas, has been working with Cassie on a device that can make contact with the quantum realm. Well, why her? She's stunning and brave, I guess. Michelle Pfeiffer tries to shut off the device out of fear it could become who could hear the message, but they get sucked into the quantum realm and they're put in the direct path of the individual from Janet's past, Kang. Okay. If you have seen one MCU movie, you've seen them all at this point. Antman and Wasp: Quantumania is more the same. A phrase that has become popular for all the wrong reasons with the MCU's bait and switch. Despite, this sounds awful. Despite being a third Ant-Man movie of a 31-movie franchise, the main focus of the first two acts is on Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet. That's not surprised. While we can give Michelle Pfeiffer credit for looking much better at the age of 64 than McDonough looks at 64. Very true. Very, very true. The first half of this movie is unfocused on the film due to the film's determination to give the audiences as little information as possible. And also, they want to focus on the female star. It is for boys, moron. If it's you put girls in it, you put them in spandex and make them look hot. Did you not see Scarlett Johansson? How did you not work out that? No, we want her for her acting talent. She's just super insanely hot as a coincidence, right? I
do like this cast, but again, this just sounds awful. I think the bloke they've got playing Kang looks good as well. He's also in Creed 3, isn't he? He looks like a good pick, but this just doesn't look. Oh no, it sounds awful. The more I hear about it.
Right. Okay. Audience are giving a cinematic criminal trust me, bro, as Janet refuses to tell anyone what she's involved in. Janet's backstory in the quantum realm is the main focus of Ant-Man, and Ant-Man directly is a secondary character in his own movie. What a shock! We've seen the marketing tactics too many times from Disney. Most recently in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Did you see that?
No.
No, of course I didn't. I tried. I literally tried. I couldn't get through it. I was too bored. The film drags without a story because they are building up the tension to reveal Kang the Conqueror. Lots of questions went into Jonathan Majors' portrayal as Kang the Conqueror. Majors does a good job handling the serious demeanor of the character, but whenever the film requires him to turn up the emotion, he comes off more cartoonish. Okay, after 31, how much longer is this going on for? Okay, we're nearly done. Okay, I can get through this. After 31 movies, it's pretty impossible for the MCU to break its bad habits. That's sad. It is true. That is true. It's bad habits. You're right. Weeks ago, there were rumors that Disney decided to reshoot multiple scenes, including the ending of Ant-Man, Quantumania, because the producers felt it didn't have enough of a signature MCU humor attached to it. That signature MCU humor has been shit beyond shit for the last few years. Right?
That's what is dragging it creatively down.
Yeah. This like tired Josh Whedon dialogue that was like, again, it was tied in 2010. But like we've got okay. Because the audience doesn't give much to clap for, another Avenger appears, like most MCU films do. Moviegoers are stuck with out of place jokes, comedy bits that die on the vibe, and enough blue screen to kill an elephant. With the recurring joke of regarding Baskin's Robbins, it's safe to say the ice cream store is the only real thing in the VHX heavy movie. Disney has been plagued by out of control spending and production of these films. By the way, proof beyond proof. Indiana Jones got completely reshot. Right, got completely reshot. It's the most expensive movie that Lucasfilm has ever produced. It's $297 million to produce. Solo was 272. Right, because they had to shoot it twice.
But isn't it? The amount of technology though that must have gone into de-aging Harrison Ford, apparently for quite a length of time. It's not like one scene. It's a good chunk of the film.
Movie, I understand, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't. Listen, if I can slap convincingly, if I can slap Michael Douglas' face onto a porn star, right, without blinking, I can't for free, right, for literally free. I can't imagine it could be too. I mean, like, again, this stuff is like photorealistic, right? It's like, don't give that. There's a lot of people sniffing a lot of coke in Hollywood, right? And they need to have big budgets to do that. That's essentially what's going on. But like, yeah, like they've reshot the movie. I really believe they reshot that movie. Speaking of things that are expensive and out of control, Ant-Man decides to embrace politics of San Francisco. No, in the worst way possible. I'm so glad you didn't see this. Jeff Loveness has never written a feature film in his life. Was awarded his own Marvel movie based on the background from the Jimmy Kimmel Show and Rick and Morty. The film is littered with face-slapping dialogue about wealth inequality, cost of living, and a knee-slapping line about how socialism isn't that bad. In a proper country, you would have to prove you have the ability to write a major motion picture before you were given the opportunity to do so. Apparently, Disney has a hard on for people who have written one half-assed episode of Rick and Morty. See Jessica Gao in She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Another trope of the modern MCU is the character regression. This is the third Ant-Man movie, along with multiple appearances in the MCU. Somehow Scott Lang is too busy with his newfound fame to spend enough time with his daughter. That's been the major focus of the first two movies, morons. Because I doubt Jeff Loveness even watched Ant-Man before. Once again, Marvel takes down the road of Scott being a good role model for his daughter, as if we haven't already seen this several times before. The pros are Ketrin Newton as Cassie Lang, Kang the Conqueror as a threat, and Katie O'Brien as Jatora. Same time, MCU, poor writing, poorly written, and by unproven writer, Ant-Man is a secondary character in his own film. Piece of shit. Save me money from going to see it.
I mean, you should. I suppose we should know when they've got terrible titles like Quantum Mania. Sounds like something you do for 40 minutes at the gym to a heavy bass dance music.
My mind went to a much dirtier place than that. Do you have anything coming up? I mean, other than me, do you have anything coming up on your channel?
We are live tomorrow with our hopefully, actually, if my guest confirms, we're live tomorrow with the latest episode of my old TV podcast, video podcast
I like that
thing
one. That's
listed.
fun.
So tomorrow we're doing The Prisoner. That kicks off from 8 o'clock tomorrow on my channel with myself, Ian, Andy, and Little Platoon, who's got his own YouTube channel. So that's a four-person assault on the most confounding piece of cult
wonderful.
TV history, everybody. So don't miss
Pretty
that.
much every episode is wonderful. I freaking love The Prisoner. I absolutely adore it. Very good. Fine. On my channel. Okay. Firstly, sign up my Substack. You get my now you're getting my awesome books on tape. Here, let me show you how I put this on YouTube today.
Well, fun enough, when I checked my messages after my stream, but before yours, I noticed it popped up. You've got something going on with the Dying Days and Paul McGann.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to show you. 1 second. Dying Days. Yeah.
Who?
It's weird. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes to like tune in, but I'm really happy I got this little sound oscillator thing going.
Stones. Benny realized how dirty her feet had become. She put the mirror down on the garden table, propping it underneath the breakfast tray to stop it blowing away.
Now, for some reason, it plays like about slightly faster over here, so he's sounding a little bit high pitched. But on the on YouTube, he sounds more normal.
Then she stepped inside to take a quick shower. The house was vast, but there was only one bathroom, which had been the cause of friction between the Doctor's travelling companions on more than one occasion. She remembered.
So if you want the full chapter, it's on my Substack. You got to sign up for that. It's free, right? If you want, just check out the sample. It's about 20 minutes long. It's on YouTube. So that's this week. Next week will be I'm going to do like a chapter a month of this, right? Unless more people sign up to my paid tier. In that case, I'll do a chapter a day if you want. So next week, Colin Baker reads Millennial Rights by Craig Hinton. I freaking love this book. Have you ever read this one?
No, that's the one with Mel and the Sixth Doctor.
Mel and the Sixth Doctor. Great intelligence.
That's it. I knew there was an old baddie in it, but I couldn't remember which one it was.
And it's really interesting because it's like so dated from like the early 2000s or the late 90s about with the computer technology. It all revolves around that, and it's very cute because of it. Anyway, so Colin Baker will read that. I think the week after that, we're going to get Peter Capaldi to read War of the Worlds. At some point, I want to read Fahrenheit 451. Who should read Fahrenheit 451?
Well, that's Christopher Eccleston.
Ooh. That's actually not a bad idea. I know. I was going to go with like what's his name, Skarsgård, the somebody with what's his name from Casino Royale.
Oh, Matt Mikkelsen. Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer to that one. I think it needs to be somebody. I don't think you want a Shakespearean person. It needs to be somebody who's got a very a twang.
Right. Yeah. I think I think it's like European.
John Hurt.
John Hurt. Ooh. Yes. I think John Hurt. But now I saw. By the way, you want to use this thing to make was it AI voice? Yeah, let me put the link in for everybody in the chat. Here's the easiest way that I found. Go to Audible, right? Look for the person that you want to get their voice off, right?
Yeah.
And then they got a 5-minute preview of each of their audiobooks they do. You just download all of those, right? Go just download those 5-minute previews. You need 4 or 5 of them. Boom! You got a perfect replica from that.
You've got enough material that it could extrapolate a voice from.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Brilliant.
It's liver. Fine. With that, I'm hungry. It's time for me to have dinner.
Yes, me too.
I'm going to wrap up. Please go over to Dan's channel and sub. Please go to me and also sub. We like subs. Subbing is nice. That sounded very bad. I am going to hit the end.